Ty the Tasmanian Tiger is a series of platformer games from the early 2000s that were created and developed by Krome Studios, making his debut on the PS2, GameCube, and the original Xbox back in 2002, while at the same time, the team went ahead and used Ty to roast some of the other major platformer series at the time. I mean, honestly, who could forget this commercial? It's almost as iconic as,
"Hey, plumber boy, mustache man, your worst nightmare has arrived."
But here we are in the year 2022, which marks the 20th anniversary of everyone's favorite, but not quite extinct thylacine. And it looks like Krome Studios has some plans in place to celebrate the milestone anniversary, even going as far as updating their Twitter banner with a brand new render of Ty, which I'll come back to in just a bit. On February 1st, well, in Australia anyways, cause it was still January 31st here in the US, Krome sent out a newsletter talking about the year ahead, also known as the Year of the Tiger. I mean Tasmanian Tiger. That's according to the Lunar or Chinese New Year, which is where terms like Year of the Dragon come from. I really just made a Spyro reference after showing that commercial, didn't I? Well, I guess it's time for Spyro Free to move over for Ty 5 Year of the Tasmanian Tiger. Okay, enough of the animal year puns, I promise. So anyways, in this newsletter, the team over at Krome gave us a taste of what we could expect for the boomerang tottin thylacine this year. Starting with what Robert Walsh stated, this coming September 10th will mark 20 years since Ty the Tasmanian Tiger was launched on Xbox, GameCube, and PlayStation 2. And that September is also when we'll be releasing a next Ty the Tasmanian Tiger game. Now, before you guys jump out of your seats screaming, Ty 5 confirmed, I want you to focus on what the next part says. What we can reveal, it is not a Ty the Tasmanian Tiger free project. Ty 4, next Ty, something cute, another Kickstarter, mobile, card game. Concerning the part about Ty Free, they're clearly referring to the HD port coming to consoles. And going by the wording that's used, and from what we could gather from the rest of the newsletter, we might not be seeing it happen just yet. But that's not to say that it won't happen, because it still could, as it was the team's intentions to release the original trilogy on all modern consoles before doing another new 3D game. As for the other things they listed, it's clearly not a remaster for Ty 4, because the team stated on Twitter back in 2020 that it already runs in HD. Now, a card or mobile game could be possible, but due to the video they released, I kinda have my doubts it'll be either one of these, but once again, anything is possible. However, a Kickstarter for the next Ty game, I could definitely see that happening, regardless of what type of game they're referring to. But if it's an actual video game releasing in September, then the Kickstarter will likely be for getting the game onto every other platform, just like the first two games. At this point, no one really knows. It's really just speculation at this point. But I feel more inclined to believe it's another installment to the series, primarily due to this video the team released for the 20th anniversary. According to Steve Stamatiadis, I really hope I pronounced that last name correctly, because it always seems like I'm getting that wrong. So from here on out, I'm just going to stick to his Twitter name, Space Captain Steve, who serves as Ty's creator as well as the creative director at Krome Studios. He stated that in a recent internal meeting, last year we spent a couple of weeks experimenting with a new game engine. We wanted to get a feel, an idea of what it could be like. It'd been a while since we did a fresh render of Ty, and it looks great in the Unity engine. And I would have to agree on this. Even though this is clearly an updated version of the Thai free model, which by the way is my favorite design in the series. Except this time, there's much more detail being added to Thai's gloves, belt, as well as visible stitching on his shoulder strap thing. I have no idea what that thing's called. Overall, everything from Thai himself, all the way to the environments, just felt like they were perfectly updated and having a bit more of a CGI feel, while still fitting to the world of Thai. And upon watching this for the first time, coupled with knowing that a new game is coming, I could just feel the excitement building. Or maybe it was the nostalgia, I don't know. But either way, this is what a new, modern Thai game could look like if the team were to switch from their proprietary engine, Mercury, to using Unity, which, fun fact, was the very engine used to develop Nick All-Star Brawl. But even with all this in mind, we've got to remember that Krome Studios isn't as big of a team as they used to be, with Space Captain Steve talking about the possibility of doing Thai 5 in the future in a 2020 interview with Nintendo Everything, shortly after the Switch port of Thai 1 was released. Yes, of course we have. We've had several discussions. If we did a Thai 5, we would do it as a 3D platformer. It's also a resource issue. For that type of game, we need a much bigger team, size, budget. Everything is so much bigger. What we would want to achieve isn't something that could be done on a shoestring budget. With today's expectations of what the graphics and everything should look like now, it's such a much bigger budget. The scale is pretty huge. Back in the day, the core Taiwan team was around 20 to 25. We're about 12 people now. So being the size they currently are, I'd imagine it would take them a bit longer than, let's say, 1 year to develop a fully 3D Thai 5. Sure, it's been known for a while that the Doomy Ranger comics that were or will be sent out to various backers for the Thai 1 and 2 ports was being used to set up the next Thai or Thai 5's story. But getting a story together is a whole other story compared to the rest of the game making process. So who really knows what to expect in September? As for what else Krome has planned outside of Thai-related projects, Krome's head of development, Lindsay Parmenter, had this to say in the newsletter. There are some other things thundering around here in the background that aren't Thai-related. We'll have more announcements soon and during the year ahead. So with all that being said, guys, that's all I've really got for this quick video update. As always, I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. Are you excited for what's in store for Thai's 20th anniversary? And what do you think this new Thai game is going to be? Be sure to leave everything down in the comments section below. Also be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell to stay up to date with all things Thai the Tasmanian Tiger as they happen. And once again, I've been Blue Knight. Thank you all so much for watching and for always sticking around. I'll see you guys back here next time.